21 minutes away. So, yeah, I actually remember what time I was born, 9:31 a.m. So anyways, my name is Alex Hale. Currently, I'm 24. I'm ready to turn 25. So, as you said, I was told in 6th grade. Where are my 6th grade teachers at? Raise your hand. Imagine one of your students being told that. Basically, their life is over. It's done. Just get ready. You are done with life. You're a nobody. You're a disgrace to the world, pretty much. And I'm being told this to my face. I've heard stories of others who the parents are told and not the person themselves. And I was evaluated by a county which will not be named. But I knew what the answers I had to say were, but the fact of the matter is, that's not me. I say it how it is. And because I was honest, they thought up here I wasn't worthy. But they forgot to ask other questions. What do you have in here? So when they told me this, my father got very upset. I thought he was going to have a stroke or a heart attack because his face was red. And he left the room in fury. And I went to try to stop him. And the person told me, you shouldn't be worrying about your father. You need to worry about you. You have serious problems. Wow. I'm not even a teenager yet. You're telling me I have serious problems? No. You have serious problems. And I said, you're wrong, and I'm going to prove you wrong. At that time, my dream was to play for the Cleveland Indians. I had the talent, I had the ability, I could hit the ball like nobody else. In fact, I probably can pick up a bat right now, and I haven't touched one in 2 years, and you wouldn't even recognize I hadn't picked up a bat in 2 years. So, what happened from there? I decided that, you want to know what? I'm just going to live my life. See where it takes me. Middle school was probably the toughest road of my life because I was old. Now, it was for multiple reasons. Number one, this is sort of an obvious one, when your family is mostly from Michigan, and you have 5 graduates in your family from the University of Michigan, one of them being your half-brother, and you grew up and you only know the University of Michigan, who do you root for? University of Michigan. But I'm a respectful one. I'm a respectful one. And Tress was forgiving me. Seriously, yes. But anyways, I was beat up because, one, I was a Michigan kid. Even when my team won, I still would get beat up. I was picked on because I was the easy target. And not a lot of people know this, but do you know what my school did? And I'm not going to throw them on a bus by saying your name. You know what my school did? Bullies got away with it. For my own protection, I was removed. I was suspended. I got privileges taken away. It wasn't my fault. They provoked me. They were bullies. What am I supposed to do? Sit there, get picked on, and beat up? No! So basically, I'm this person's whatever? Okay, sure. You want me to be that? That's your problem, because I'm not that. I won't take it. So I go into high school, and I really didn't have a direction. And I knew music was one of my ways of, expressing myself, but I never had a teacher who could bring it out of me. This is when I slowly started to realize how much teachers mean. I had a music teacher, choir teacher, who believed in me wholeheartedly. After my freshman year, I tried out for our show choir, which was a dream of mine back in 8th grade when I first learned about it, and I made it. But months later, after someone provoked me, got me upset, I got defensive, I was removed. But he didn't want that to happen. In fact, he went to bat for me, saying, give him a second chance. And I was offered a second chance. said, no, this is something I gotta learn the hard way. There are consequences for your actions. That could have been controlled. I didn't go to you and tell you. That's my fault. I gotta learn. So I took a year away from that, knowing one of my biggest dreams in high school was ripped away from me. And I came back with a vengeance. That year at the auditions, I know our choreographer was auditioning us, and I had 2 left feet the year before. I mean, I couldn't dance worth a lick. And the day I walked in, I just said, you want to know, I'm showing everybody that they were wrong. They should have kept me, not him. And the day of the audition, I walked out of there. My choreographer said, where did you learn to even become even average? I said, I don't know. I just taught myself. And she said, you got good. And you have ability. So from there, I got into show choir. And this choir teacher, who didn't even run the show choir, he actually ran the band for the show choir. He took me under his wing. He wanted to guide me in the right direction for my life, which was music. He saw the talent, and he showed me, you want to know what? You have the ability to do whatever you want. What do you want to be? Sports was still in the back of my mind, but I said, you want to know what? I want to be a singer. Now here is where the socializing part of high school that I'm going to stress to you comes into play. If you have a student who is doing both sports or something else, or music and something else, and I tell this to all the students, whatever your passion is, that's the area you make your friends. I made the biggest mistake in my life because I said, I'm going to hang with the popular sports people. Big mistake. They didn't see me for who I was. They just saw me as the singer. The guy who showed up at the talent show junior year pulled off Justin Timberlake. That's all they saw me as. They didn't see me as the kid who had a heart of gold, who had suffered so much to overcome it. They didn't see me for that. But the music people slowly saw it, and I ignored them because they weren't popular. You want to know what? They were popular to me. And I had to apologize to a lot of them after high school. I made a huge mistake. I wish I could have gone back and fixed that, but you can't. You got to learn from your mistakes. So that's why I tell some students. But for teachers, if you see students going down a path which can be prevented, no matter what it is, it could be something really, really bad or just something that could hurt them in the long run. Try to guide them. And with special needs people, and I want to stress this fully to any special education teachers, do not force us. Do not force us to do something. The greatest thing my parents did was they kept pushing me to go like, you want to, maybe you should go out with your friends. Maybe you should do this. Maybe you should do that. But at the end of the day, it was my choice to do what I wanted to do. And I said no to things so many times, I started regretting it. So I started learning, you want to know what am I doing? I mean, what am I doing? So I kept doing it. And I know I got to speed this up, so I'm going to quickly just go through college real quick, because it's very important I say this. I was failing at the University of Akron. It was the worst place I could have gone. Big student campus, you know, I was alone, I didn't really have any help. And I was hurt by friends. And I say this anywhere I go. There was a night in December where I was betrayed by one of my closest friends. Made me break my own code of don't go out with another guy's girl, but they both lied to me. Both the guy and the girl, which hurt. And I went outside with no jacket, freezing cold, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and there's a bus down the street, coming up. was that close to walking in front. I said to myself, why? Why me? Why must I suffer so much while people who are bullies keep getting away with things? But I couldn't do it. I don't have a bone in me that can even attempt it. It's unthinkable. It does more harm than anything else. It harms your family. It harms your friends. It harms teachers, people that care about you. So why am I doing that? So I went back in and I went to sleep, and I slept for about 12 hours that night. I couldn't handle it. And I woke up and I had new purpose. I said, that's never going to happen again. And I'm going to start advocating. So I joined Autism Speaks Board for Northeast Ohio's Walk, which is this Sunday on the 23rd at Progressive Field. Now I joined with the mission of, I just want to help. And then one day I'm listening to parents' stories. And I'm listening to their struggles. I'm like, I'm not alone. And I'm writing notes. Now, I'm very blessed to say that I have a 3-time Grammy Award-winning uncle who's a producer, who's the last man to record Ray Charles. So I'm very blessed to say that I have that. And he could have made me big along the way, but he wanted to make me learn. So I wrote this stuff down. I'm like, I got it. This is a song. And I sent it to him. He said, you're finally ready. So he wrote Into the Light, which is probably my favorite of all the songs I've made. And then that turned out to be a hit, and we were like, let's do an album. In a state of a meltdown the next year, 30 minutes, I wrote a song called Walk a Mile, which is basically walk a mile in my shoes, feel how I feel, then you'll understand. And it's not written for autism, it's written about anything. You can't understand what one person's feeling until you've been there. And that turned out to be good. And then we wrote a third song that meant absolutely nothing to the cause. And then we wrote My I'm Possible Dream. Now what does My I'm Possible Dream mean? Any student that walks in here, you may ask them the first day of school, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they may say, I want to play in the NBA like LeBron James. You can do that. You are possible. Do you have the drive to do it? That's the key. Anybody can do it. Just got to put the time and the effort. That's what I've done with my music. To the point where I'm trying to make an album with my uncle now that'll benefit autism awareness. So, basically, at the end of the day, if you would have told me, Alex, and this is a 6-year-old me, the one who's first diagnosed, Alex, what you're going to do is you're not going to play for the Cleveland Indians. In fact, Mark Shapiro is going to become one of your biggest fans and actually will listen to your advice and will tell you plans for players that no fan should know. I knew Francisco Lindor was playing last year. He told me in his office and said, this leaves this office, I know you leaked it. I was like, whoa, okay, I should know this. And he told me other things too that I should have known. But it's because he believed in what I was saying. He believed that my love for the Indians was one of the reasons why I made it. I still remember my first game of the day, July 18th, 1995. Albert Bell hit a grand slam off Lee Smith to win the game. Yeah, pretty good first game. Yeah. And that's been one of my driving forces. And baseball is still my first love. If I ever got a career in that, I'd take it in an instant. I know they have my resume. So, but you tell this 6-year-old kid, going back to him, I'm looking at him right now, he's just turned 6 on August 17th. Alex, the Indians are going to be coming to you asking for your knowledge because you taught yourself Moneyball at the age of 10. On top of that, you're going to be a singer. At age 6, no one knew about my ability to sing except my grandma. My parents had no idea. If it wasn't for a friend saying out loud, Alex can sing in 2nd grade, no one would know. No one would have known. By the way, I got a solo in our concert that year. I was the only one who got that. But you tell them, you're going to be doing music with your uncle. And on top of that, most importantly, don't worry about the autism. Don't. You're going to be fine. In fact, you will use your voice to raise awareness. As I always say, the autistic mind is the most beautiful mind of them all. You don't know what you're going to get. Now, I'm not going to go into what I know about baseball. That's going to take too long. But basically, I just know that my voice goes beyond my music. My story, there's so much just that I can't even say. We're writing a book about it right now. The things I could tell you, you would be asking how the heck are you speaking? And I do want to mention one thing about bullying right now, and that's cyberbullying. I want to tell you an honest fact. If I was living in today's age with the cyberbullying, I would have committed suicide with how bad I was back then. It needs to stop now. Because every day I hear stories of people who aren't even on the spectrum, who are what you would think, not even cases to even think about it. But here they are, cyberbullying, and they're dead. Another potential wasted because someone is a coward who wants to take on others because they're insecure about themselves. So when I speak to students, I say, that's not cool. That's not the cool thing to do. If you've got something to say about somebody, say it to their face. And if it's not nice, honestly, keep it to yourselves. I'll admit, I work with people that I don't necessarily like. But do I say it to their face? Absolutely not. I keep it to myself. I deal with it. Because you know what? The person you bully today, you never know what they're going to be. You never know. I told my friends, oh, I'm going to be a big-time musician. They all laughed. Really? So how about performing at Chicago in front of 25,000 people? How about performing in front of 13,000 Pittsburgh Steelers fans at Heinz Field and getting them to cheer for you? How about performing not 5 straight years, well, that's our story for another day, but performing year after year at the Cleveland Walk, and year after year at the Detroit Walk, and getting offers from LA, Boston, New York, just to go to their walks. And to finally have Autism Speaks National say, we want you to write a blog. After 5 years, I got them to say, yes, we want you to write it. And it should be released this week. So, in closing, what I'm going to say is that I don't just speak about autism. I speak about a variety of things. I want to ask you one question. Raise your hand if you don't have a quirk. If you are a perfect human being, I want you to, no, you want to, if you're a perfect human being, I want you to stand up so we can applaud you. No one is standing. My point exactly, if we lived in a world where everybody was the same, it'd be a boring place. And honestly, for history teachers, that's been attempted before in the 1940s. How did it work out for that guy? It didn't work out well. The fact of the matter is we're all different. Autistic people, we just communicate differently. You'll be able to deal with us. We're fine. We're normal human beings. Just like everybody else. Because normal is different. And disability means this ability. My ability is to sing and perform and speak like no other, and on top of it all, I have the baseball knowledge that probably only Billy Beane has. The fact of the matter is, if you didn't know I was autistic, would you have guessed it by just hearing me? I bet not. It's such a wide spectrum. And at the end of the day, as I've said once before, the autistic mind is the most beautiful mind. Get to know one. Because when you've met one person on the spectrum, you've met one person on the spectrum. It's time to raise awareness. It's time to end the bullying. People say it's impossible. What does that say up there? I can't really tell what that says. Can somebody say that for me? Impossible means I'm possible. Gee, I wonder if that's what the word meant all along. Any Cleveland sports fans? It's not possible. We're waiting. Positive thinking. Believe in yourself. Thank you guys for having me. Alex did an outstanding job of reminding us that as educators, every day we have the ability to make that day for an individual student, a group of students, make their week, make their month, make their year, and give them something to always remember. So as we embark on a new year, let us keep that in mind on Wednesday when our halls are filled with excitement again with all the students and all our staff. Thanks everybody for coming, but before we go, we'd like to, in recognition of Alex's 25th birthday, we have a cake for him. And I'm hopeful too that maybe we can all get together and sing happy birthday. Okay?
Start us off, Dr. B.
Happy birthday.